Welcome back to Calgard Gymnasium for the second game of tonight's college. Trinity University and SCAC men's basketball. Ryan Figured here, joined by Josh Moxigimba on the call. And Josh, two teams under new head coaches. Exciting.
Yeah, especially for the home fans. Jimmy Smith coming in, going 1-1 last week with the competition against St. Thomas, and just a different type of a look to the team. Tigers' legendary coach Pat Cunningham retiring at the end of last year. Over 500 victories in his career. And Jimmy Smith, not a stranger to everybody here in the SCAC. And he is coached over at Schreiner, TOU, product of Mary Hardin Baylor. So the new Jimmy Smith era underway last week, underway here in Calgard Gymnasium this week.
Ball starts with Trinity as they turn the ball over almost immediately here as we get underway. It's Colorado College going the other way. They are under new head coach Jeff Connerow, who was a former assistant at D1 Cal State Bakersfield. This is his first head coaching gig taken here at the Division III level. It's going to be Trinity ball as some bodies hit the deck there. And an early substitution for Coach Connerow. Didn't see who came into the game there. It'll be an inbounds play under the basket for Trinity. And they're going to have to do it again. David Nickel there receiving the pass. He's gotten just one basket in each of the opening two games. Like you mentioned, Josh, splitting those two games with St. Thomas. The Celts taking game number one in Coach Smith's debut for Trinity. But making the adjustments and coming back the next day, the Tigers were able to take the next one in a close matchup. They look to get this on inbounds here, and it comes to A.J. Clark, who's been all over the stat sheet as he starts his junior season. Early here, it's Nickel trying to put the shot up for Trinity. No good. No scores so far, just a minute into this one, and both teams not taking care of the ball very well so far. That one thrown away by first-year forward Trey Crawford for the visitors out of Highlands Ranch, Colorado. Young look to the team for Coach Connerow, bringing in some of his new recruits. A lot of fresh faces for Trinity as well. 6 first-year players on the roster as well as 2 transfers. There's one of them here with the ball. Enzo Secchi, he puts the shot up, no good from 3. The other one on your screen currently is number 5, Caleb Jenkins, getting his first start. So he takes the place of Tiger returner Jordan Littman in the starting lineup tonight. Checking in the game now, Taylor Harris, another first-year player for Colorado. He takes Cunningham's position in the backcourt. And Trinity looking to press here with Jenkins, the furthest forward, applying the pressure. Hanley now the on-ball defender against McCroskey. The junior dribbles to his right and finds a teammate who's going to be called for a travel. We saw a lot of those in the women's game earlier, Josh.
Yeah, and I think it's pretty indicative. Young season, opening day here for Colorado College and week in for Trinity.
As Taylor Harris just into the game there, called for the travel. The 2 number 5s matched up on each other here as Jenkins brings it into the front court for Trinity. Bounce pass into Nickel. Swings it back to Jenkins. He'll pull for 3. It looks good, and it is good. And he opens the scoring for both teams there with a beautiful-looking stroke from 3. Tigers again pressing, and that time forcing a turnover. Nickel intercepts the pass. A.J. Clark coming forward in transition, and Jenkins with the reverse layup. 5 points for him. The Tigers number 5 into the starting lineup and making a big impact here. He had 9 in the first game and 19 in the second game, including 9 of 11 from the free throw line. Off the bench, and here's going to be an and-one opportunity for Colorado College. As the action begins to pick up here in Calgard Gymnasium.
Aaron Acosta with the big 3 and a chance for a 4-point play here to open for Colorado College.
two defenders there caught in the closeout for Trinity. And I think they both fouled him. I'm not sure who the foul eventually went against. There's a little uncoordinated defensively there from Coach Smith's team. Acosta no good there, and the Tigers look to push it in transition. A.J. Clark immediately looks to dribble past his man, instead finds Hanley. He's got Nickel in the block, and Nickel was fouled there as he looked to gather that pass. A lot of energy here from both teams early on, which is exciting to see, especially for the new head coaches on both sides.
Looks like Will Nisbet will be charged with that foul down low for Colorado College.
Ball inbounded here. Sechi put up a three earlier. That was no good. This time he looks to drive. Kicks that to Jenkins. Has all 5 of the Tigers' points so far. Back to Sechi. Open look for 3. Left wing, no good. Tipped out by Clark. Secured by Jenkins. He has Sechi backside, and he looked to go with the no-look pass. Still not cleared, though, for Colorado College, and A.J. Clark keeps it alive. Jenkins there, obviously feeling confident after 5 points, went for the no-look pass.
Yeah, take a look at it again. Good hustle, and I think he saw Nickel just down low just a split 2 second, and just no control for either team after that.
A.J. Clark catches the inbound pass, goes for the jumper on the baseline, and it's good. 2 points to his name here in the early goings. And another turnover, that time forced by some good Tiger energy on defense. It'll be Jenkins to inbound after another pass thrown away in the backcourt by CC. In response, substitution coming into the game for the visitors, Deontay Dennis. And for Trinity, also making a change, number 34, Abdullah Roberts, the first-year guard out of Houston, Texas.
So 7-3 here, early action, 3 minutes in. This clock hits 17 minutes to go, first half.
Jenkins again, he's hot early. That time, though, no good. Same spot that he made 3 to open the scoring. Acosta, hands off that time to Cunningham, back in the game. Dennis on the dribble, past Jenkins, looks to go with the left hand, and there's going to be a foul called, I think, against Jenkins, because it looked like a clean block coming across for Abdullah Roberts. We'll have a look.
Yeah, good drive to the basket, and yeah, I think Jenkins from behind, absolutely right.
I'm going to say not on the shot. And Hanley with the finger wag there, not letting him get the easy pass underneath the basket. Looks like the Tigers really taking pride in their defending here early on in the game, Josh.
Yeah, a lot of energy for both teams here early on. We'll see how long both Tiger teams can sustain. As Colorado College cuts through to the hole for another 2.
Deontay Dennis off the bench there for 2 points. Jenkins hands off to Hanley.
Here's 7-5.
Seichi again, and let's say a foul underneath.
I'll go back to that last drive here for Colorado College. Little cradle, tucked it under, created the separation.
Yeah, a little bit of a use of the left arm there to hold off the defender. See that called sometimes, but that time Deontay Dennis gets away with it. Good move to the basket from him.
I think you like the game when that's not called.
Yeah, absolutely.
Then almost taken away.
Sechi off to a little bit of a rocky start here. Nearly turned that one over.
Scott Cunningham for Colorado College, deflecting that one out of bounds.
Sechi averaging double digits through the first 2 games, 13 in game 1, 10 in game 2. The transfer from UC Colorado Springs, right next to Colorado College, Josh.
Colorado College. I was going to say Colorado College, a lot like San Antonio with multiple college campuses. Also have the Air Force Academy down there.
That three, no good. And Colorado College, again, struggling with their passing accuracy. And I think in response to that, we'll get a timeout here on the floor. It's been an exciting opening few minutes. 7-5, Trinity lead, 15:42 on the clock. You're watching the Tiger Network. Josh, a quick profile on new head coach for Colorado College, Jeff Conroe. He was the assistant, as I mentioned earlier, at Cal State Bakersfield, the D1 program, where they actually made March Madness once and did quite well in a couple of other postseason tournaments during his tenure. And he was also a former player at Colorado College, graduated in '99. So he's very familiar with the school, and I think he's certainly proud to be back working with the Tigers. They're going to say no shot there, travel. Against Donovan Givens, sophomore forward from Jackson, Mississippi. Jenkins keeps his place alongside A.J. Clark in the Tiger backcourt. Right now he's in the Colorado College backcourt, looking to make a nuisance of himself.
Yeah, you're touching on both of these coaches new to their programs. And obviously this is going to be a crazy year for them to get their introduction, as the layup will tie the game at 7.
Nisbet off the dump pass from Cunningham. Jenkins was a bit overzealous in trying to get the steal, and it left Cunningham open for an easy dish. A.J. Clark now on the dribble. Jump stop into the lane, fouled on the pass.
Go back and look at Nisbet here. Trinity Tigers leaving that baseline open. That's an easy basket for Nisbet.
Tanner Brown now into the game for Trinity as well, number 11. He receives the inbounds pass here on the dribble. Drops it off to Roberts. A.J. Clark. A.J. Clark, the left-hand cross-court pass. Jenkins with a great drive, splitting through the defense. Finishes with the right hand. Highlight reel assist and finish there from the Tiger backcourt mates. See if they tie this one up underneath. They do. Deontay Dennis heading into the paint where a couple of Tiger defenders met him and got some hands on the ball. It'll be Cunningham now to inbound for CC. Not before we get a quick substitution. J.J. Woods, the senior, into the game for the first time. 6'3" guard out of Parker, Colorado. Cunningham slaps the ball, looks to get the ball inbounds and off the screen. He does find a teammate, and a kiss off the glass for Jack McCroskey. Game's all tied at 9.
Yeah, good defense by Jenkins there. He didn't try to go for a block. And a tough pull-up jumper knocked down. Colorado College tying the game back at 9. 14 minutes to play with a chance to take the lead.
A.J. Clark's pass intercepted after Roberts tried to slip the screen, but he makes up for it at the other end, gets the steal, looking to go coast to coast, instead dishes it off for an easy 2 points for Tanner Brown. A.J. Clark making it happen. both ends right now for Trinity. The starting front court working with some of the bench players for Coach Smith. Have the lead now by 2, 11-9. Acosta on the dribble against Clark. Hand in his face for the shot, and it comes off the front of the rim.
He's got 3 already on a 3. He knocked down earlier, but
here's an open 3 for Trinity at the other end. No good. They grab the offensive board, working hard underneath the basket and drawing the foul. That time was Donovan Givens, using every inch of his 6'6" frame. And Josh, let's get a look at that finish by Jenkins off the A.J. Clark assist earlier if we can.
All right, we'll have to pull that one up here in just a bit as we stay with the free throws.
First one is good for Givens. A.J. Clark going to stay in the game. Looks like Jenkins will finally depart as Lippman and looks like just Lippman for now comes back into the game. Started the first 2 contests for Coach Smith, coming off the bench tonight. Second free throw, no good. Ball bounces around, eventually is secured by CC. Handoff here. Dennis. Seen a lot of the ball here in his first collegiate contest. Of course, Colorado College making their season debut. They grab an offensive rebound here. Let's see if they can turn it into second chance points. Dennis again with the ball in his hand. They have to go down low now. And they get 2 points. Sam Kinney off the bench. San Francisco, California native. Turns that one into 2 points. The hand signal here comes from A.J. Clark. It's a thumbs down. We'll see what that leads to. For Trinity. A couple of screens looking to find the open shot. It's a corner 3, and it's way off the mark. Ball came off the foot of Taylor Harris. No intent, though, to get the kickball, so we keep it moving here. High-paced action in CalGuard Gymnasium. 12-11 Trinity so far. Lippman, the on-ball defender here against Taylor Harris. They look to go down low that time for Cunningham, but it's intercepted and going coast to coast for Trinity. Tanner Brown, 4 points for him so far in the half. Good showing from him off the bench. Here he is defending now. Lippman coming to be the help defender here, but eventually they're going to kick it out for a good look from 3, and it is good. Colorado tie this one up once again. A.J. Clark gets the ball from Lippman in the backcourt. Handoff, wants it back, gets it back. Opts not to use the screen. Crossover to the right hand. And they're going to call him for a travel. I thought they might have when it left his feet. But they say it was tipped, but I think he did come down and travel in the end.
There's that look with Clark again.
See, it comes all the way out of the shot. It's such a good pass across the entire court as we head to the break. It was a good showing from Jenkins early on, and it's led to a tied game here, 14-14 in CalGuard Gymnasium. back underway here as both teams take the court. 11 minutes, 11 seconds on the clock, 14 apiece here in San Antonio. Colorado College ball as they bring it into the front court. Taylor Harris on the dribble. Passes off to McCroskey. Zackham into the game for the first time here. Matched up with his opposite number 11, Tanner Brown, who has 4 points to his name for Trinity. Shot clock at 5. And they're going to turn this one over. They're going to get a second chance here.
I don't know if the shot clock should have reset. And if not, then I think that's a violation. We'll have to see.
Don't think anyone really established possession there after the ball squirmed free down low.
Let's see.
It was good defense from Trinity up to this point.
Yeah, no possession there, and the shot clock reset.
Should have still been at maybe 2 seconds.
Okay. I think they're coming over the table to look at it, so I'll take a break and help them.
So as he does that, talk about the legacy of Coach Cunningham. Of course, retired last season after 21 years at the helm for Trinity. Finished with a 10-16 record last year, but overall was 352 and 221 for a 61.4% win rate, and reached 504 career victories in that final season for Trinity. Here's that replay once again as the referees are getting the same look that you are. So it'll be 10:43 on the clock, and we'll see what they do about the shot clock here. I believe 2 seconds should be the appropriate number. Good work there from Josh Makshigimba, wearing many hats tonight.
And we don't use the official replay for the officials very often, but when we do, pardon me, we'll get you to live.
The inbounds play here with just 2 seconds. Shot clock didn't start here. All kinds of issues with the 24-second clock, but eventually it ends up in Trinity hands either way. Out to Lippman. Pump fake from 3. No, instead going to drop it back off to Sechi. Sechi needs some help. He's picked up his dribble, and it's poked away from him. That'll give him a second chance, but the shot clock winding down now. 12 seconds. Back out to Lippman. Spin cycle there from Lippman, and the shot bounces twice off the front of the rim. Colorado College going the other way. Both teams looking to break the deadlock here. Nodded at 14 apiece as we head into essentially the second quarter. 10-minute mark approaching here in the first half.
That was blocked away by Nickel.
David Nichols spotting a few new tattoos since we last saw him. Looking good on that left arm there, David. A couple subs checking back into the game for Colorado College. They run the inbounds play there to get it into the hands of Dennis. Deontay Dennis, pull up from the elbow. Off the back of the rim, secured by Nickel. Tigers look to push it. Lippman now. Nickel slips the screen, and yeah, that time clear drag of the foot from Tanner Brown, who's had a good start to his home debut for Trinity. That time, just a little bit of a fundamental error.
14 all, 9:40 to play. We hope to have a score bug for you here in the second half. We had issues connecting to the Daktronics board for the broadcast, and then our stats program having issues as well.
It's just some dust in there.
Just some dust. 9 months since we've been here in Calgary Gym, and just got to blow all that out. Of course, everything worked yesterday during our tests, but Friday afternoon, the banks are closed, and
so is the Daktronics scoreboard, I think. That time, Cunningham fouled on the drive from Lippman. 2 shots and a chance to gain the lead here for CC, and he does. Connecticut native, his first trip to the line tonight. 1 of 2, but offensive rebound that time secured. And Nickel with another block. He's looking good down low here early on. Chance for Brown to make it 2 points at the other end, and the Tigers pushing the pace to regain the lead. Cunningham now on the dribble. Handoff for Acosta. Lippman almost got caught there a little too close. Instead, the three-pointer goes up, and Trey Crawford's effort is off the mark. Hanley now on the dribble. Screen, and he wanted the pick and pop. And they're going to say he traveled that one. I don't know if I agree with, Josh.
Well, we have the benefit of replay. Sets. Yeah, just pulls it.
That's what you get when the referee is 3 feet away and you're not even in the same room trying to argue with his call.
Great call.
Secchi continues a little bit of a rocky start here in his home debut for Trinity. Averaged 5 minutes a game at UCCS last season after he redshirted as a first year. So technically a sophomore in basketball terms, and probably taking junior level classes at least, as Lippman knocks down the 3 off the bench here for the Tigers.
That was a nice step back 3 there from Lippman.
He proved at times, especially last season, that he can be the primary scorer for this team. And in his junior year, he's certainly looking to knock down more threes and secure the role, even in the starting lineup, which we'll get an and one opportunity here.
We'll look at that one in a second. Well, let's look at Lippman's real quick. Looked like he was going to drive in.
Yeah.
Steps and pops.
Look good all the way as Jenkins is going to check back into the game. Started the game very brightly for Trinity, I believe 7 points so far.
And then just another brilliant spin move inside. I was going to say, they've been attacking off that right wing. This time he cuts it back over. Can't complete it, but strong 2-point bucket.
Jenkins to Lippman. Drops it off to Hanley, off the glass, and it looks good. Bank's open apparently, Josh. You're claiming it's closed. I don't know if Hanley's listening to you.
Yeah, it's got the online banking.
Lippman trying to draw an offensive foul there. I think he had a good case. Don't know if the officials necessarily got a good view of that. Cunningham wants it back, gets it back. Now it's a Dennis. Shown some real ability off the dribble so far.
Yeah,
but they're going to say a little too much flair in that step.
Giving it up.
Deposited that check on his phone, Josh. We'll be right back. Be 21-17 Trinity with 7.5 left in the first half of play. Looks like Stephen Molina into the game for the first time for Coach Jimmy Smith tonight. A.J. Clark and Jordan Lippman in as well. Don't see the other two Tigers yet, and that's because they're in the back court. Looks like Jenkins and maybe Hanley.
Yep, looks like it. Or,
Yeah,
Hanley. A lot of new single-digit numbers here for Trinity for us to get used to.
Here's one I already like the look of. Jenkins, he came with Coach Smith from Millsaps, the former major, that time involved in a turnover offensively for Trinity. But he brought the heat off the bench in the first 2 games, rewarded with a start tonight, and he's already got 7 points to his name. Lippman here defending Cunningham. A strong drive there. No finish that time, though, from McCroskey. Jenkins looking to, again, push the tempo. He's got Clark open on the left. He's instead going to use Stephen Molina, senior. A.J. Clark, terrific bounce pass around the corner. And Ben Hanley makes no mistake with the right-handed finish. Left Pat Cunningham, not Pat Cunningham, former head coach for Trinity. No, that was Scott Cunningham. They put him in a blender there with that pass. Cunningham looking to immediately answer, and he's going to have to do it from the free throw line. Jenkins, I guess, wasn't called for the foul earlier. He is this time.
Yeah, fairly good defense. Got him with the body.
Again, though, it was almost a borderline. Cunningham keeping Jenkins down on the ground with the left arm. See a lot of those called at the higher levels of basketball.
Yeah, I think by that time, I think you could argue that Cunningham was pretty well established within the circle, the semicircle down there.
Acosta there called for an over-the-back foul. Friendly high five with A.J. Clark after the fact, but it's Trinity ball.
23-18, Trinity on top of Colorado College. 6:22 left, first half.
Started off with a lot of offensive fireworks, and it's slowed down in terms of scoring as the two teams burst out of the blocks. Looking to get into their set offenses more here, and I think A.J. Clark should be called for a charge here. Or a travel. Seen a lot of those tonight.
Yeah, could have gone either way, I think, and I think he'll take the travel instead of the offensive foul. He was looking for the block, but pretty good defense there from Colorado.
First look at Ashton Owens, number 4, the first-year guard for Trinity from Trinity, Alabama. He was born for this, Josh. He's in the backcourt now with Jenkins. Running across to try and make the defensive play was Molina, and he affected the shot. It's an air ball, and Jenkins going to look to push the pace out to the corner. It's an open look for Molina, and he couldn't make it count there. 2 3-pointers so far off the mark for Molina.
It's a black ball here, and we'll take a look at it one more time.
It was online.
Yeah,
it was
I
just really
don't
strong.
think anybody touched it at all.
They're tracking it down like they might have, though.
Jenkins knocked it away for Trinity.
Cunningham was convinced he needed to save it.
Yeah, I think he may have been just saying that ball was deflected out. And I think that was clearly Jenkins. That's going to be over the back here.
A little overzealous from Owens, just on the court.
5:29 left first half. 23-18, Trinity on top.
Scoring really slowing down here after a good start to the game for both teams.
A nice baseline bounce pass.
Colorado College looking to move the ball well here, and it results in an open 3. That time knocked down by Nisbet.
Portland, Oregon native knocking down the 3, bringing it within a single basket game.
foul that time against Molina with the body from Cunningham. He got a clean block on it, but not before the contact. Yeah. Cunningham giving up a few inches in that matchup with Molina is forced to foul. Although I have to tell you, Josh, I was in an intro to acting class with Stephen Molina, so he can sell a foul. I can tell you that.
A greater San Antonio native.
Looking to get on the board here after missing the first. And he does. Knocks it down. 1 point now in the game for the senior. Coach Smith using quite a few players off the bench so far in this first half. Molina, one of them. 2 other benchmates out there at the moment. A.J. Clark now looking to move it in transition. Finds Owens in the corner, swings it around for Molina. He won't stop shooting until he makes one, and that one off the front rim. They're getting him good looks, though. Just aren't falling at the moment.
Has been a streaky shooter in the past. When he starts knocking him down, he can run for a good 5 minutes. We've seen that from about 2 years ago.
Showed good tenacity there. Poked that pass away. Disrupted the Colorado offense, but they'll get a second lease at life here, and they'll get 2 points off the offensive rebound. Strong play from Will Nisbet. 5 straight points for him. Eventually, it was an uncontested layup. If you're flexing like that, Josh, I think it has to come after the dunk. Says me. Can't dunk.
Saw a lot of dunks in the pregame. It's very rare that we see the dunks in-game.
I'll tell you who was one for a dunk was, you'll have to pronounce it for me, Josh. I already forgot.
Shaka Black.
Shaka Black, the senior that graduated last year for Colorado College, led them in scoring with 21 points and 8.8 rebounds. They're looking to replace his production, and they're looking to get back in this game. Down 1, 3:56 to go. You're watching the Tiger Network. To talk about Shaka Black, who graduated for Colorado College after last season. He was a big man down low. He was certainly one for the dunk, as I mentioned earlier, and he averaged far and away the most points on the Colorado College roster, 21, followed in second place by Aaron Acosta, who we still see as a part of the team tonight. But I think they've really changed their offensive style under Coach Conroe, and without Black, pushing the pace a lot more now, Josh.
Yeah, a little bit of a different style. So that one might have been a travel, but play continues on for Colorado College.
There's a long 2.9 seconds as well down there. Eventually establishing position against the much smaller Jenkins. I believe now that's 7 straight points for Nisbet.
Had the inside on Jenkins, and then from there, easy layup. Yeah, a lot of energy here. Still 17 minutes into this game from both teams.
3 that time, knocked down by Tanner Brown, the San Antonio native from Brandeis High School. 5 points now for him. Oh, terrific handles there to go past Jenkins, who looked for the chase down block. But it was Jack McCroskey who crossed him up, Josh.
Yeah, see a lot of good drives here from Colorado College. As soon as we get the stats fed in, love to see what the shooting percentages are for the Tigers.
Both sets of Tigers. I think streaky so far would be the word, as looking to get on a hot streak here. And doing so, Tanner Brown, 2 straight threes for him. He's looking to have found his stroke here late in the first half. Same matchup here, McCroskey and Jenkins. Instead, he's going to pass it off. And he passes it off to a teammate here. The corner 3 to answer. No good. Jenkins secures the board. Good one-handed pass ahead. And he's going to look to take the and one opportunity. Terrific work from Ashton Owens. And we see that flexing celebration that's been used at the other end by Nisbet. Used against him there. A little bit of swagger battle here between these two teams. Good finish through contact. Five-point lead now for Trinity after 2 consecutive trips down the floor. Chance to make it 6. Conversation here before the free throw, I think maybe about how they're going to set up afterwards.
2:07 left to play. Trinity holding a 5-point lead, 32-27.
Really not sure what the confusion's about here. Something to do with the substitutions, maybe? Coach Smith currently getting the explanation. Wish we could listen into that one. It's now headed over to the scorer's table to clarify something. I can only think this would be a issue with the substitution or maybe the timing. Or maybe there's an issue with the court. I did notice, just out of the corner of my eye, Fisher Gates reached kind of into his face area and threw something away, maybe a mouth guard or something. Obviously being extra careful here, health and safety-wise, during the pandemic. It was before any whistles were blown. Josh furiously scrolling back into the replay dimension. As the court is cleaned up here in real time. I think part of the issue is that Fisher Gates checked in with his mask on. And then something pointed out there on the floor.
I think he was saying that maybe it was just slippery at first, and then that didn't get cleaned up.
And now we are finally set for one shot from Ashton Owens. And that one shot no good after the long delay.
Not totally unsurprising after icing the free throw.
It stays as a 5-point lead for Trinity, and chance to answer that time for Colorado College, no good. Thrown ahead now for Enzo Secchi, who hits the deck and travels. He can't stop traveling tonight, Josh. He's traveled here, there, and everywhere.
He tried his best to stop traveling on that one. Go back and look at it.
I wish we could travel still, Josh.
It has been a while.
Haven't traveled really outside my house in a while. Bringing up the floor now, Cunningham back in the game for Colorado College. Under 2 minutes to go in this first half. Acosta fouled on that jumper from just inside the lane. He'll have to earn it at the free throw line. Body check that time from Tanner Brown.
Yeah, I think Brown just got caught up with his momentum running forward. Tried to hold up, but collision was made.
See Jack Williams there at the bottom block for Trinity in the game for the first time. Junior forward from the Woodlands.
He talked about Jordan Lippman being able to account for some major scoring for the Tigers. Jack Williams last year hitting 20 points quite a few times.
It's interesting to see under new coaches which returning players keep that role and which ones maybe fall off a little bit under the new system. But certainly potential there with Williams to unlock some scoring for Coach Smith.
He's a strong physical player, especially down near the low block.
Passes this one off to Jenkins. He finds himself in some space at the low block. And that time, Ashton Owens can't hold it. So with 1:22 remaining, it'll be an inbounds pass from the Colorado College bench. See Coach Jimmy Smith making his home debut tonight. Looking to make it a successful one and move into the positive column after a 1-1 start to life at Trinity. Tigers eventually corral that rebound.
St. Thomas picked by the coaches to win the SCAC.
Jenkins fouled on the three-pointer.
And Trinity was able to go into Houston and split that series. The game they lost on Friday night a week ago. Had a chance to win it down at the end. Came up short with a couple of missed free throws, and the final minute of the game was kind of squandered away.
Yeah, eventually went on to lose 61-53. Enzo Secchi and A.J. Clark leading the scoring for Trinity.
And bounced back on Saturday with a big win.
77-73 in that Saturday matchup. And it was Jenkins, who's at the free throw line here, who led the way with 19, including 9 of 11 from the stripe. Reliable free throw shooter coming in on a transfer from Millsaps University. 3 for 3 that time. You see the Tiger press here return, broken down by Colorado College, but the energy continues in the half court for Trinity, and the rebound corralled by Tanner Brown. Trinity looking to push it here, 45 seconds, looking for the 2-for-1 opportunity, and they'll take 3 points. Jack Williams, who you noted for his ability to score down low, that time showing his range from the corner, and that builds the Tiger lead all the way out to 10 here with 34 seconds remaining in the first half. Timeout on the floor. .2 remaining here in the first half. Tiger lead out to 10 points after Jack Williams knocked down that corner 3. We'll see what comes out of the timeout for Coach Connerow.
The largest lead of the game for Trinity.
Holding a team under 30 points would be a very successful defensive effort for a half. And they're looking to do so here with some energy pressing in the back court. And now Colorado College into their set. Foul down low, and offensive foul against Nisbet. He's been involved in a lot of the action, some good, some bad for CC, and he certainly didn't get set there for the screen off the ball against A.J. Clark. And I think there's some confusion about who the foul should have been called on. Eventually went against Acosta. Josh, you think that was the right call?
Let's go back and look at it one more time.
Acosta, yeah, it could go either way.
I mean, Acosta was trying to stay in bounds, and I think just the look that he gave at the end might have gotten him the call.
A guilty look. Our favorite actor, Stephen Molina, would never. Trinity out on the court here, ready to go, ready to finish out this half strong with 17.5 to go and the ball. Colorado College taking their time coming out of the timeout. See how they'll set up defensively. It'll be Jenkins to bring it up for the home team. Matched up against Cunningham. Last shot here of the half. I go to Williams, just fresh off that three. Instead, he goes for an excellent pass. And A.J. Clark's rejected. Jenkins open for three. And we'll see if he got it off.
They're going to count that for now, and we'll look at it on replay. We're going to go ahead and just roll back.
Either way, a great finish.
Until we get to the officials coming in.
Tanner Brown at the very end of the clock. We'll get a look at it here. Jenkins missed three, tipped by A.J. Clark, and he does get it off. They'll certainly give that when they come and check it out at the monitor. And that gives Trinity a 40-28 lead going into the break. Terrific first half at Calgar Gymnasium for Coach Jimmy Smith. It's been exciting, and we hope you'll stick with us for the second half. Ryan Figert and Josh Moxagimba on the call. You're watching the Tiger Network.
Welcome back. About a minute 30 before the start of the second half. And see the stats there for the first half. And Trinity shooting 50%, 15 of 30. Colorado College, 42%. They are 3 of 10 from downtown, 30%. Trinity, on the other hand, 29%. But the free throws, both teams just not hitting their free throws, but only 8 attempts per. And pretty competitive, rebounding-wise. Steals, blocks are all close. Turnovers, 11 to 10. Trinity's got 11. It's been a close game. It's just the score right now. 12-point advantage for the Tigers. And
8 of that 12 came in the final minute of the half. It was a big run, which concluded with that buzzer beater putback from Tanner Brown, who
he's
leads all
6 for
scorers.
6. He's got 14 points, 6 of 6, 2 for 2 for downtown. Jenkins for the Tigers with 10 points on 3 of 5 shooting. He's 3 of 3 at the line. Nisbet has 9, and he's 4 of 4 shooting and 1 of 1 from beyond the range of the three-point line.
And it was a group effort as well from Trinity. You saw contributions from multiple different players off the bench, including Jack Williams adding 5 points at the end of the half. And we saw that last game as well, 49 bench points last time out, 14 from Brown and 19 from Jenkins. So we're back underway here with Jenkins on the ball for Trinity. Surveys the offense. Wanted A.J. Clark. Instead, he's going to fake the pass and drive himself. The alley-oop attempt. And it's just bouncing around in there. 3 offensive rebounds. And it's going to have to be 4. And it is 4 offensive rebounds. Trinity just can't put it down, and they finally do. That's a 4th chance opportunity there, Josh, and they finally get it 2.
Well, so much for the 50% shooting for the Tigers. That'll be wiped away. But the offensive rebounds for Trinity, looks like they will be in firm control of that one. We'll go back, take a look at it from underneath. It was a pass to Nickel, grabbed his own board, grabbed it again. Why not? 3rd time. And then he swipes it away.
Finishing through contact there, finally on the board for Enzo Seishi. Good to see him come out strong in the second half, as it's going to be an offensive foul called on the screen there by Nickel. Nickel starting for Coach Smith in each of the first 3 games, but not playing nearly as many minutes, facing pretty stiff competition in the post areas off the bench, but still a key contributor and a veteran presence for Trinity this season. Early sub into the game here in the second half for CC. Alex Russo, I think it's the first time we've seen him, the freshman guard out of Bronxville, New York. And a cutting drive there by Cunningham. Tigers need to secure the rebound, and they do. A.J. Clark now brings it forward for Trinity. Nickel down into the low post. Instead, it swung out to Hanley. And it's going to be a blocking foul there. Hanley drawing that one on the drive to the basket.
Foul's going to go against Kinney. It'll be his first.
Both teams really being aggressive, Josh, driving to the basket.
Yeah, continuation of what we saw in the first half. And I think that explains why both teams are shooting over 40%. That'll be an offensive foul.
Jenkins there looked to evade the defender midair and instead commits the charge. It's a good set that time, and a charge drawn by McCroskey. It's been a good matchup there between McCroskey and Jenkins. We saw McCroskey get the better of the Tiger sophomore guard on the dribble once in the first half. And that time getting the better of him by drawing the charge. Three-pointer goes up, no good. Rebounded by Jenkins. Good job that time by Hanley to keep it in play. Found the feed underneath the basket to Nickel. Just barely keeps that one in, and Nickel fouled by Kinney. 2 fouls in quick succession for him to start the half. And because of that, he'll check out for Nisbet, who led scoring for CC in the first. Two players for Trinity trying to throw their weight around in the post, and it's Hanley that got the ball and Hanley that draws the foul.
Foul go against McCroskey. That is his first and the team foul, number 3 for Colorado College.
You mentioned all the single-digit numbers earlier. Got this one confused. It's Seichi on the line, number 2. Hanley, number 3. Gets the bounce there on the free throw. A Houstonian who applied his trade for the last 2 seasons in Colorado Springs, like we mentioned earlier, at UCCS. Gets both off the bounce there. Trinity extending the lead here, really in control early in the second half. Cunningham to Russo. Leaves his feet but finds the pass. McCroskey back to Russo. Wants to get to the basket, and he does. Doesn't draw the foul, though, and forced to throw up the layup a little bit wildly. Open shot for Jenkins. Off to the right. Clark looking to track down the offensive rebound, unable to do so. And Acosta, who we haven't seen a ton from, Josh, he was second in scoring last season for this team. I think he just has 4 to his name so far tonight.
1 of 3 shooting early on.
Trying to make a play here, and he does, winning the ball back for his team on the offensive rebound, tipping it out of the hands of Nickel, I believe. After Nisbet pulled the three-pointer, it was away from A.J. Clark by Acosta, and Nisbet fouled by Nickel. It's 4th foul. That's another reason he won't be able to play a ton of minutes tonight. Getting in foul trouble here early on in the second half.
And he got into foul trouble, fouled out in only 6 minutes in the Saturday game against St. Thomas.
That would bring your minutes average down. Good spot. I missed that one on the stat sheet. Jenkins now brings it forward for Trinity. 17 minutes, 15 seconds on the clock. Tigers lead by 16 over the visiting Tigers. Entry pass here for Seichi, looking to use his size, and he does so extremely well. Lead now out to 20. We saw him struggle shooting the 3-ball, and what's the best antidote to that? Get down low, get dirty, and Seichi's doing it so far in the second half. Easy 2 for Colorado College at the other end.
Nisbet keeps his perfect shooting going. All right, he's got 1 miss now. So 5 of 6, 11 points. He's into double figures. Was perfect in the first half.
Yeah, still perfect from 2. He tried the 3 earlier. Looked like that was maybe a little out of his range. Acosta goes to the bench. Still just 4 points on 1 of 3 shooting. 3 boards and a couple of fouls. Again, though, we talked about how returning players react to new coaches, and just because he averaged 17.9 points last year doesn't mean he's going to fit into Coach Connero's system the same way that he fit into Coach Porti's last season. So certainly not able to work the 2-man game with Black like he was able to last year either. An adjustment period, especially in the first game of the year for Acosta. A.J. Clark seems to find life with his new coach. And he finds an assist there.
Good block by Nisbet early on, but nobody able to help out.
Yep, and no assist either for Clark as the first shot is missed.
A good entry pass.
He's a player that is crafty, isn't he? He's got a little bit of size for a Division III point guard as well, but the left-handed passes, especially across court, we saw one in the first half to Jenkins, who was able to cut and score, sometimes catch opponents off guard.
Take a look at McCroskey's turnaround floater in the paint. And that'll take us to the media timeout, under 16. 15:55 left to play here, second half. Trinity on top by 16.
Set to get back underway here. 15 minutes, 55 seconds on the clock, and a 16-point lead on the scoreboard for Trinity. As Coach Jimmy Smith looks to make his home debut a successful one here. He works the inbounds pass to get Jenkins open for three. The give and go between the Tigers' backcourt is good for 3 points here, Josh.
Nice fluid shot from Jenkins. On a design play from the underneath the basket inbound play.
Here's Jenkins up against Russo, a first-year guard for Colorado College. Gets a friendly bounce off the rim, and those are his first collegiate points. Good control on the jumper there. Seichi on the drive. That time turned away. Good block that time by Kinney. And Russo now looking really good on the break that time with the jump stop to get past Jenkins. And 4 points now to his name. Didn't see him at all in the first half, and he looks really good here so far through 5 minutes of the second. All right, A.J. Clark trying to throw that one up and nearly got the roll. Protesting to the ref that he took contact on the way up. Tigers will do well just to keep the foot on the gas here. They've got the 15-point lead. 4 straight points by Colorado College. Jenkins here, and A.J. Clark unable to finish on his weaker right hand. And that's one of those, if you are a little taller, you are slamming down as Tigers are in the open court.
Jump ball there. Now we'll go back to Russo's second shot. His body control to get around Jenkins. 4 quick points. This will stay with Colorado College on the jump ball.
Williams comes back into the game for Enzo Seichi.
14:21 to play. 15-point lead here for Trinity.
Tanner Brown also back in the game. Still leads all scores, I believe, alongside Jenkins with 14. Here is Jenkins on the dribble. And they're going to say he pushed off. That time we do get a call against the offensive player for the use of the off-ball hand. And there is a shove there. That one drawn by Dennis for Colorado College. And they're going to take a quick timeout to talk it over as Colorado College, a couple of quick scores. They're back within 15. We'll be right back with you on the Tiger Network.
14:09 left here in the second half, and Trinity down from 50% to 44% shooting, 19 of 43. Colorado College still at 42%. And
Trinity made their only three they've taken so far in the half. That was the Jenkins off the inbounds play.
yeah, 6 of 19 so far.
Lippman into the game. He's one that can certainly provide some scoring from distance. And there's some scoring from distance that time for Colorado College. I think it was Sam Kinney from the corner. Just into the game. 7 straight points for the visitors, looking to make a run to get back in the game. Hanley on the dribble, gets the screen from Williams. He's going to take it himself. The floater off the glass looks good, and it is. Ben Hanley using the Williams screen and finishing over Kinney. Dennis that time passes it off, and it's going to be a foul down low against Tanner Brown. Just stepped on that back foot of McCroskey. 53-39.
5 of the last 7 here for Colorado College. Are on a 7-0 run in the last minute and a half. 13:09 to play here.
As that time is McCroskey looking to scoop and score, and Lippman gets caught in some trouble but bailed out as Kinney loses the ball in the front court. Out to Hanley for 3 off the side of the backboard. Maybe a little contact on the wrist, but Lippman fighting to get it down. Then gets caught in a double team and eventually picks up the loose ball. All's well that ends well. Williams in the high post finds Lippman, jump stop down low. Hard foul that time coming from Cunningham. As he came with some momentum across to make sure that Lippman was going to have to earn it at the line.
A little bit of a hard foul, but pretty solid defensive play. You don't want Lippman getting that shot up and off for a 3-point opportunity. Tigers now 8 of 11 from the line.
Talk to Lippman. He models his game off of Kevin Durant, tries to play that same type of body type, the lengthiness, and wants to score in a similar way that Durant's able to do for the Nets, although that wasn't enough tonight for them as they dropped 2 straight to the Cavaliers. Lippman here fighting through the screen. And there's a jumper from the elbow. No good that time for Dennis. Trinity goes the other way. Hanley looking to push it. Lippman 4-3 from the right wing. Comes up short. And both teams looking to push the pace. Dennis goes to ground, and he throws it away. This should be 2 for Trinity if they can execute the fast break. And there's your man to do it tonight, Tanner Brown. 16 points now. Perfect from the floor, 7-7. You have to think Lippman's there to tap it in either way. Instead, he taps it to the referee with his head after the make for Tanner Brown. Another good defensive play. This time, Jack Williams pokes it away. And going to ground, looking to grab the loose ball was Tanner Brown. Called for a foul.
I'll take us to the under 12 media timeout. 11:53 left to play. 57-39. Trinity with the 18-point advantage. Be back for the final 12 minutes or so in just a bit.
So a 6-0 run for Trinity means they lead 57-39 here in the final 12 minutes of the season home opener for the Tigers in Calgard Gymnasium. Jimmy Smith's home debut as Trinity head coach. Inbounds play here for Colorado College. See what they can work out of the timeout. They go to Nisbet, their leading scorer on the night. He kicks it out for an open look for three. Way too much on it. And it looks like McCroskey doesn't use online banking, Josh. That one was closed. A traditional man. Another bad miss that time for Gates.
Yeah, in Colorado College, that 6-0 run that you mentioned for Trinity, having evaporated the 7-0 run that Colorado had to cut the lead to 12. This one almost back up to 20.
Hanley had a potential look there from three. Instead, pulls it back out, looking to use the whole of the shot clock here and get the best look they can. Williams comes to the elbow, squares up, and
that bank is open.
Online banking, Josh.
Jack Williams, 5 points here in 5 minutes.
Here he is defending, and he's going to be called for a foul. Not sure. There was a ton of contact initiated by Williams as McCroskey leaned in. That's how these things go sometimes. He'll shoot 2 shots either way. Seven points now on the night for McCroskey. 2 boards and 1 helper. You see some good work on the boards there, boxing out for Trinity, Roberts especially. And that's been the story of the game. The Tigers really dominating on the boards over the visiting Colorado College and getting second shot opportunities and sometimes even fourth shot opportunities as we saw at the start of the half. This time, though, they turn it over. Williams' pass intercepted. And from coast to coast, 4 quick points for McCroskey. He's flirting with double digits, now up to 9. Good work that time from Tanner Brown. Draws the blocking foul against Aaron Acosta. Doesn't feel like Trinity's doing a ton offensively at the moment, but they're doing just enough to keep that lead at a comfortable 17 points. A lot of that lead built in the final moments of the first half. An 8-0 run before the break. Good pass there, pocket pass down low, and it leads to 2 easy points for Trinity. Williams finishes it off after Hanley dishes it. And they're going to say and one opportunity here for Colorado College. Alex Russo. Now 6 points and a chance to make it 7. He's looked good off the bench, Josh.
Now he's come in and he's done well attacking the rim. They're not necessarily the easiest points, even though they're right there. They got a chance to get 7 points in 7 minutes. Kind of maybe matching what Jack Williams has done here for Trinity, coming in, spark off the bench.
Yeah, I like what I've seen from him. Not only is he being aggressive and attacking the basket, but he's shown great control, especially when he pulled up for the jumper on his first basket, I believe. Blocking foul here against Colorado. It's a difficult thing to do, to be aggressive and come with pace into the lane, but still be under control like he's shown he can do so far. Be Hanley on the line for Trinity. 2 subs, 3 subs coming into the game for Coach Smith. A.J. Clark back in. Seichi back in as well.
9:31 left here in the second half.
Ashton Owens, the 3rd sub. Hanley, no good. So the advantage is at 16 for Trinity. Cunningham, great bounce pass, and that's going to be an easy 2 points for Nisbet, now up to 13.
Really good screen set.
Traditional there, isn't it? The pick and roll.
Opened up nicely.
A.J. Clark on the dribble, tripped up. And he'll be a little upset he didn't get a call there for the contact down at the ankles. And it leads to an easy 2 points that time for Cunningham. Hanley on the dribble at the Tiger logo at center court. A.J. Clark looks to go with a baseline bounce pass, and that's the first miss of the night by Tanner Brown, but he follows it up with his own offensive rebound and 2 more points to his name. Good battle there up against Alex Russo. Gave up a little bit of size in that matchup.
A.J. Clark.
Another great pass. He's just seen the floor so well, A.J. Clark.
I was just about to say, A.J. Clark has lost quite a few assists in this game today.
Leads the Tigers on the season so far with 7 going into this game.
Has 4 tonight and probably should have another 4.
Takes a lot of high-risk passes, but he makes a lot of them as well. Seichi is going to be called in the restricted area as he tried to draw the charge there.
Yeah, looked to be the right call. Let's see.
A.J. Clark just in the way.
We'll get a good look. Yeah, he's still got a foot inside. Sometimes it's just that technical on that call.
And there'll be a timeout on the floor. A little bit of a run here from Colorado College as they look to cut it to single digits here shortly. They still trail by 12, though, on the Tiger Network.
Just give us some time.
63-51 lead here for Trinity. Under 8 minutes to go here in the second half.
Brown leading the way for Trinity, and it's Nisbet here at the line looking to add to his lead for Colorado College. He's 7 of 8 from the floor, 1 of 2 from downtown. In his first trip to the foul line today, he's got 15 points.
Yeah, and it's been a different score each night for Trinity so far in the young season, as Seichi and Clark led the way with 13 each in the opening night. And then Jenkins off the bench with 19 in game 2 so far. Like you mentioned, Tanner Brown leading the way in scoring for Trinity. Good post move that time and good finish underneath the basket. Donovan Givens over Nisbet. Drive and kick that time. Now it's Cunningham on the dribble on the right wing. Straight away now as he looks to get to the basket. Wraps all the way around and
nice handles. And then taken away by Clark.
Great block there by Clark. Almost a steal in the way that he just took it and went immediately the other way. Seichi with a powerful jump stop and post move, but he's fouled before he can make it count. Both teams in the bonus here, as you can see the scoreboard on your screen with less than 7 to go.
Trinity holding this one still into double figures. Colorado College has done a good job of trying to cut back into these leads, but Trinity's been there to answer. Both teams have made 5 of their last 7 from the field.
Jenkins comes back in. See Sechi's stat line. He had a tough first half, but he's come back strong in the second. And he's got a lot of his points from the free throw line and from some good work down low since the interval. 8 points now for him. Half-court trap for Trinity as Givens looks to get the steal. Jenkins comes across to try and further the pressure, and eventually it's going to look – I thought it was going to result in an open look for Colorado College, but it's great scrambling defense by Trinity, and they get a fast break opportunity, and Givens unable to finish it on the lob pass.
Yeah, last time down here, Nisbet was blocked by Clark. We'll take a look at it on the next dead ball. Clark's just been doing a lot of the small things that you need out of a player who's not scoring a whole bunch. He's passing the ball with great efficiency.
Jenkins there able to grab the rebound despite giving up a lot of height in that matchup. And it's a missed 3 from the corner, and Clark fouled as he tries to come down with the rebound.
It was a great inside pass here, and then just that left-hand deflection there from Clark.
And it looks like there's going to be a timeout on the floor as Coach Connerow has a discussion with the official about the last call, and we'll take it with him. You're watching the Tiger Network, where Trinity leads 67-51. .552 left in this one as Trinity continues to keep Colorado College at extended arm's length, a 16-point lead, and the ball underneath the basket here for the home team. Jenkins, an easy look here for Givens, bounces high and touches the shot clock, so ball will go dead and Colorado College will inbound it, but second straight time we've seen out of a timeout, Trinity getting an open look from 3, this time from the opposite corner, Josh.
Yeah, not quite the same set play there, but it was a great open look.
I think they built off the first set play as Colorado College maybe expected a couple passes.
Overloaded onto the
instead just kicked it out
side
to the open look on the other side. Be free throws here for Dennis. First one is no good, which will be trouble for CC as they look to cut down this lead. They haven't been able to do so. The closest they've come in the second half was 12, just a couple minutes ago. Second attempt for Dennis is perfect. And A.J. Clark will bring it up the court for the Tigers. Seen a really good performance down low from Trinity. And the absence of Jacques Black for Colorado College, they're struggling to bring down the rebounds in the same way they could before, as Jenkins called for a charge. I think he might have a case here that looked like maybe a heel on the circle. Nope.
Yeah, definitely out in front of the circle, and it looks like he got set just in time.
It was a good finish, but came in out of control according to the referee. Fifth foul for Jenkins.
And so Jenkins in his start will depart early. Finishes 13 points, 5 boards, 2 assists, played 22 minutes. Leaves with a 15-point Trinity lead.
Started the game really well with, I think, the opening 5 points for the Tigers. And Dennis loses that one going up. Final tip came off of A.J. Clark.
Two teams will be back at it again tomorrow. 2 o'clock tip here from San Antonio. It'll be 1 o'clock for those back in Colorado Springs. Noon for those of you on the West Coast. Colorado College has quite a few from Oregon and California.
Kenny there with the and one on the tip end. We see a quick huddle for Colorado College. They won't think this game is done, with a chance to get it back down to 12 here from the free throw line. Certainly foul there on the first effort from Kenny. And that's a long continuation if they're giving him the and one there.
Yeah, it might have been the body off of Sechi. Look at it real quick again. With a little bit of a armbar push.
And the officials just conflated those two incidents into one there.
Foul was given to Sechi.
Kenny unable to cut it to 12. Ball on the deck. A.J. Clark down to meet it and calls a timeout. Just to keep possession with the home team.
5:03 to play. (67-54) Trinity with the lead, and they will have the ball when we return here in just a moment.
Josh Marchigenbauer, replay coordinator here, working with the officials to make sure the game clock is accurately set at 5:03 after the A.J. Clark timeout. Kept possession with Trinity.
Yeah, they didn't quite say what they were looking at. They just wanted to go back to the dead ball, and I'm wondering if they wanted to make sure Clark had full possession here. And so looked like he did when the timeout was called.
A little bit of debate here between the officials as to where the inbounds pass should come from. Eventually it does come in from the side. And the Tigers looking to up the tempo here as Nichols back in the game. He got into foul trouble earlier. I believe he's on 4 at the moment. Seichi spins and scores underneath. Good finish, took the bump and didn't let it affect the shot.
Yeah, Kenny might have had an argument. So it looked like he had gotten there and gotten set, but I don't think he was completely set. I think he was still in a bent position.
Russo miss at the one end leads to a Ben Hanley open look on the trailing 3 off the front rim. And that's a great finish through contact there as Hanley is going to give McCroskey the opportunity to make it an and one. The fake pass and took it on the wrist. Finished. Conversation here with the officials once again. Looked pretty clear cut to me. There must be something we don't know about.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Looks like they might be bringing it back.
And Josh switches back to being replay coordinator here.
So far, not taking a look at it. That explains it. Colorado College with 30-second timeout.
Take a look at that and one more time. Wind it back.
Yeah, and it's a good fake. And then pretty much just caught out nowhere was Hanley. You can see he was looking to take away the pass, and then once he had taken away the pass, there was really not much else he could do.
Yeah, that's good work from McCroskey to finish through the contact on the wrist.
4:17 left in this one, just 13-point game.
Colorado College chipping away, still struggling on the boards as Trinity leads in that department 45-28, including doubling them up on the offensive glass 14-7. Trinity also 12 assists to Colorado College's 8. And they lead 6-5 in steals, but the visitors 5-4 advantage in blocks.
And I think they did change this to a full timeout, so this is the stat you were talking about.
Free throw shooting standing out at the moment as the Tigers have made 5 more on the same amount of attempts, Josh.
Yeah, and I think that, 2 more three-pointers, 2 more field goals, but 5 more points from the line. Those all add up, give you the 13-point lead. Colorado College not necessarily looking in terrible shape. And with 4 minutes to play here, 4:17, would not count them out yet. They can roll off another 6 or 7-0 run like they have a few times here in the second half. We'll put them right back into contention. And then we've seen 15-point lead, 20-point leads evaporate in the last 5 minutes last year.
Don't take me back to those times, Josh. It's Brown, Hanley, Clark, Seichi, and Nickel on the floor at the moment for Coach Jimmy Smith. Looking to close this one out. 4 minutes and change left. Chance to cut the lead to 12 here for McCroskey. And he does.
Cuts the lead to 12 with his 12th point of the game.
Hanley easily breaks the press. That time finding Brown. The Tigers can get into their half-court set if they so please. Screen from Seichi. He gets it off the pick and pop. Good cross-court pass finds Clark in the corner, who gets caught up in the air. The ball continues to move for Trinity. Big screen from Nickel underneath. Eventually comes to Brown, who has rarely missed today, but he missed badly there. Still alive, though, for Trinity off the offensive rebound. Clark brings it back out. Shot clock at 13. And that's a great possession for Trinity. Even though they don't end with points, they take half a minute off the clock there, Josh.
Yeah, it was a good time of possession there for Trinity. And then they're going to get
I think Nickel just pulls the leg a little early, but I think that's his 5th foul. It's an unfortunate one to take the ejection on.
Yeah, it looked like Nickel realized that that play was going to go wider than he was, and it looked like he tried to pull out of it.
It's good work from Russo to draw the foul as well. Not content to go underneath the screen. Here is Russo. This time finds Acosta. We haven't seen much of him shooting the ball, and that time he's too strong with the mid-range jumper. Clark looking to see the court. Finds Hanley, and he is going to be called for an offensive foul.
No, I think they're going to say it was on. No, they're going to count it now. At first, I thought they were just going to say it was just on the floor.
Yeah, mixed signals there from the different officials, depending on where you look.
So you look from behind the basket. That definitely would have gotten the continuation, so call made there.
Good work from Hanley. Now at 8, and make it 9. Backcourt trap for Trinity. Sechi looking to make life difficult here for Crawford. McCroskey up against Lippman. Crawford comes with the screen. Sechi now switches on to McCroskey. It's going to be an open look for Crawford for 3. Nothing but net. 60 points now for the visiting Colorado College Tigers. They're back within 12, canceling out that Ben Hanley 3-point play with a 3 of their own. And yet another timeout on the floor as the coaches eager to make an impression here with their players, both in their first season at the helm. We'll be right back with you. Trinity leads by 12 as we head into the dying embers of this one.
I hate this.
Well, we've got one exciting finish in town just down the road at AT&T Center as the Mavericks are making it interesting against the Spurs. Hopefully Trinity can avoid a similarly tense finish as they lead by 12 here with under 3 to go, and the full court press is on for Colorado College. A.J. Clark able to beat it with the dribble and advance into the front court. Pass out to the right wing for Lippman. Ben Hanley. It's been good to finish out the game so far for Coach Smith. That time, of course, gives it away.
Should be a jump ball.
Sechi putting his body on the line there. And jump ball. That's got to go in the top 10 most dramatic jump ball gestures I've ever seen.
I don't know if he was wanting to call a foul there or...
You see the deep squat. He thinks about it, and then both thumbs
and then
raised high. That's 2 thumbs up from me as well, Mr. Official.
A touchdown for both teams. So Trinity will be the beneficiary of this jump ball, which will put it back to Colorado College after the inbound play. Both teams in the bonus.
And Trinity looking to make every possession count as long as possible as Clark is fouled. And just see this one out, the 12-point lead with 2.5 to go. 2 shots for A.J. Clark as the Tigers are in the bonus. First one is good. The junior point guard adds his 3rd point of the game, in addition to 4 rebounds and 5 assists. He stays on 3 points, though, after the second one bounces off the rim.
Also has 2 blocks and 4 steals.
Good all-around game from the junior.
And as we said earlier, should probably have another 4 assists. The guys caught it, missed the easy layup, and then got their own board and put it back up and in.
Good steal there from Lippman, using his length to good effect, and he's got a chance to make it 2 points for Hanley at the other end. And it'll at least be 2 shots for Benjamin Hanley. Lippman just poked that one away and went the other way at pace.
Hanley will be looking for his 10th point.
Good work here from Trinity just to avoid any type of rhythm offensively from Colorado College, disrupting it with steals, blocks, forcing contested shots. As their leading scorer on the day, Nisbet, will check out here for Crawford coming back in. And both good for Hanley, now 11 points on the night.
Tigers now with 4 in double figures. So that's you with 10, Hanley now 11, Jenkins 13, and Brown 18.
And you know, that's the same official that we just got the gesture from on the jump ball. I was waiting for the travel to come out as he shuffled out to make the call. Let's look at this terrific form on the shuffle here. Yes. No heel clicking, right hand raised, and it's going to be 2 free throws. First one, no good for McCroskey.
Got to appreciate a ref that's going to give you the same energy. 2 minutes left to play in the game.
I think he'll forgive me saying he's not a youthful official anymore either. He's putting in the work. Lippman takes the inbounds pass. Under 2 minutes to play here in Trinity's home opener and Colorado College's season opener. Good entry feed down into Seichi, and he's able to finish with the contact. After a tough first half, he's come out strong in the second half. 12 points now, chance to make it 13 on A.J. Clark's 6th assist. I have to say I also like the rolled up shorts look. Used to go with that myself out on the soccer pitch, as well as the number 2, actually. Enzo Seichi is my new favorite player, Josh.
Shades of Ryan all over him.
Except he is good at basketball. That's the one thing that I am not. Acosta hoists up his 5th shot of the game, and the offensive rebound falls for CC. And the Tigers easily evade the press. And that'll be interesting to see if Acosta gets more shots tomorrow, Josh. Of course, we mentioned how he averaged 18 last year, points that is. And he hasn't been able to contribute in the same way today. But he also hasn't really been shooting often. Hasn't been getting the looks. As someone who has been getting the looks, Tanner Brown finishes there with the left-handed layup.
We'll take a look at Colorado College's last shot. And then we'll look at Brown here in just a second.
Tyler Peavy getting an opportunity here late in the game with a minute to play.
That's 20 now for Brown.
The San Antonio product getting it done here in his hometown.
The super senior is putting in the work late yesterday. Getting a shoot around in around what would have been tip-off here at 8 o'clock. So we're setting up.
Big steal here and a chance for a dunk, and we get to see a dunk This time, Ben Hanley throwing it down, and that should do it here. 82-63 is now the Tiger lead after Hanley slams it with authority. Clock winding down. Colorado College getting some late looks from three. Trinity players looking to add to their stat line with a rebound. A.J. Clark is able to do so. And Trinity should be able to dribble this one out, and they'll go to 2-1 on the season, split with Johnson and Wales to start the year, but get the home campaign off to a great start here. A commanding win, Josh.
Yeah, and it's nice to see this group go to 2-1. Get a good look at Coach Jimmy Smith as clock runs down on his first home victory.
And unfortunately, on the other side, Coach Connero's head coaching debut for Colorado College ends in defeat. Showed some good signs and were able to keep themselves within reach in the second half, but ultimately couldn't overcome what was built at the end of the first half on an 8-0 run. Trinity never looked back from that moment, and Coach Jimmy Smith will be pleased with that. We'll see Colorado College once again tomorrow. Josh, you mentioned earlier, 2 p.m. tip-off, and we'll see what adjustments the coaches make. Josh, you take us through those final stats.
Yeah, for Colorado College, it was 13 points for McCroskey, 15 for Nisbet, 7 apiece for Russo and Kinney, 5 apiece for Woods and Dennis. And those are the main stats that stick out. And for Trinity, it was 4 players in double figures, Brown with 20, and then 13 apiece for Sechi, Hanley, and Jenkins. 7 for Jack Williams off the bench. 6 rebounds for Brown as well, 8 for David Nickel, as he led the Tigers and led all scorers in rebounds. And I'll give a shout-out to A.J. Clark, only 3 points. But then you look at the rest of the stat sheet, 5 boards, 5 assists, 2 blocks, and 4 steals in 30 minutes. The kind of play you need out of your point guard. And so Trinity takes the 19-point win, and we'll see you tomorrow afternoon. And for Ryan, I am Josh Michigamba. Thank you for joining in. Thank you for watching today. Hope you've enjoyed it, and we'll be back again tomorrow.